I thought I would break down a little later, but I received a phone call from my mom. Oops, sorry, I need a minute. I received a phone call from my mom the morning of June 5th, 2007, and she told me that my younger brother Nathan was gone. He was killed on his motorcycle when a car hit him head-on as he was headed to work the early shift as a security officer at the State Department in Washington, D.C. We found out later that the driver, 25 years old, the same age as Nathan, was driving drunk and got on Interstate 395 North going the wrong way near the Pentagon, just 6 miles from here. We also found out that the drunk driver, Vidhana Chan, had been out for several hours that night drinking with friends, celebrating a job promotion that he had recently received. Apparently, at the beginning of the night, his friend offered to be the designated driver while they went bar hopping. That same friend was drunk and passed out in the back seat when the car struck and instantly killed Nathan. When they had decided to head home that night, they determined that Vidhana was the least drunk out of all of them, so his friend gave him the keys. Meanwhile, Nathan received a phone call from work asking him to fill in for a coworker who called in because her dog was sick. He said goodbye to his roommate, hopped on his motorcycle, and headed into DC. I wish that at that moment, Vidhana's friend handed him the keys. They thought about how his decision could make him a killer, and even if they couldn't fathom ruining the lives of so many strangers, at least they could have been wary of ruining their own lives. I wish they had stuck with their plan and the man who was supposed to be the designated driver didn't get drunk. What started out as an innocent night of celebration turned into a lifelong nightmare for my family and me. Their careless decisions and ignorance about the agony they could cause by driving drunk cost my brother his life and future, and cost Nathan's family and friends a wonderful, irreplaceable person. It also cost Vidhana because he's now in prison. He has to live with having killed someone, and will have this on his criminal record for the rest of his life. At the end of the day, no one won because of Vidhana's decision to drink and drive. No one in the world can argue that all of this was worth it just to drive home that night. There is not one day that goes by that I don't think about my brother Nathan or miss him with all of my heart. For the rest of our lives, my family and I will spend holidays with tears in our eyes because Nathan is not here to share them with us. There will always be an empty chair, a silence that should be filled with his laughter, and moments when we wonder what could have and should have been. Every day is a struggle to deal with Nathan's death, but the holidays are particularly hard. I was always excited to pick out Christmas gifts for him. It's a painful reminder that he's gone when I make my shopping list now and don't have to put him on it. I think Nathan's favorite holiday was New Year's. My mom and dad, sister and I, as well as who knows how many of his friends, were lucky to get a midnight call from him to ring in the new year. Now, counting down the seconds for the new year no longer includes the anticipation of that fun phone call from him. It's been replaced by a sinking feeling in my stomach, in the knowledge that the upcoming year will be another one without my brother. This time of year, I worry about being on the roads at night, not knowing who has been out celebrating, drinking, and then driving. The simple act of designating a sober driver and sticking to that plan really is a matter of life and death. I hate that so many other people know all too well the pain that my family and I are going through. I hope that by sharing Nathan's story, no one else will have to feel this way. I hope that people celebrate the holidays with joy and happiness, and at the end of the night, when it comes time to go home, they think of Nathan and so many who are no longer here, and how that simple choice to have a sober driver will put them home safely in their beds, alive to enjoy another day. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has been an extremely helpful resource for my family. Those little red ribbons represent so much. It's easy to get carried away with all the excitement of the holidays, to go out with your friends and then just want to go home at the end of the night. This makes it easy to forget the potential consequences related to how you actually get there. But tying a red ribbon on your car makes it easy to remember and remind others that there is a right and wrong choice to make if you plan on drinking. I am grateful for MADD and for those who support the Time Went On for Safety campaign. I hope that efforts such as these continue until drunk driving no longer happens. This issue is very real, and no one is immune to the risks of driving drunk. All drunk driving crashes aren't necessarily caused by bad people. They are caused by bad decisions that sometimes even good people make. It's mind-boggling to me how many people keep deciding to drive drunk even though it's so easy to avoid. Ever since Nathan was little, he wanted so badly to be a police officer. I have no doubt that if he were still here, he would be out there getting drunk drivers off the road. I'd like to thank MADD for giving me this opportunity to speak. Since Nathan is no longer here, I speak on his behalf and will continue to support MADD in his honor. Thank you.